So from the 1st of July 2020, employers are allowed to bring furloughed employees back to work on a part-time basis while still being able to claim the furlough grant for the hours not worked. In outline, furloughed employees will continue to receive at least 80% of their wages for the normal hours not worked, subject to a monthly cap of £2,500. So for an employee's perspective, much will continue in the same way, except that they can agree with their employer to come back to work for, say, a couple of days a week and be furloughed for the other 3 days. They will receive full pay for the hours they work and furlough pay for the days they don't. From an employer perspective, this provides the opportunity to slowly bring people back to work, matching staffing needs to business needs. So during July and June and July, the amount you can claim continues much as it is at present, but the government's contribution to furlough pay gradually tapers down over the following months until the scheme will completely close permanently, we're told, at the end of October. So from the 1st of August, the government will continue to pay 80% of wages up to the £2,500 per month cap, but the employers are then going to have to pay the national insurance contributions and employer contributions, which apparently is going to amount to about 5% of normal pay for the average employee. From the 1st of September, the amount starts to drop and the government will pay 70% of the wages, up to a total of £2,187.50 a month. And to make up the 80% total, subject to the £2,500 cap, the employer must pay 10% of the wages. So that's up to £312.50 per employee, plus the employer national insurance contributions and pension contributions. And then finally, in the final month of the scheme, from the 1st of October, the government will pay 60% up to £1,875 a month. And to make up the 80% total, the employer must pay 20%. So that's up to £625 per month for an employee on full-time furlough, plus, of course, the employer national insurance contributions and pension contributions.
Goodness, so as always, Joe, lots for us to be keeping track of in these government schemes as they evolve. It sometimes feels almost by the hour, certainly by the day. There are new tweaks coming through. What's your take on terms of, in terms of whether to be eligible for furlough from July, whether employees already need to have been furloughed? And alongside that, is there a limit on the number of claims that employers can make after July?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you had not been furloughed before the 30th of June for 3 consecutive weeks, which is the minimum period of furlough that you can claim for under the current scheme, then you won't be eligible to be furloughed in the new flexible furlough scheme, and I think the acronym perhaps belies the complexity of this scheme for all of us. But so the last date that you could have furloughed an employee that you want to furlough going forward was the 10th of June. So if you haven't done it yet, I'm afraid you've missed the boat. However, those returning from family-related leave don't need to have been furloughed before the 10th of June cut-off date. So provided their employers previously furloughed employees, they will be able to be furloughed. As to the other point, the amount you can claim in a single claim period from the 1st of July, you can't claim for more than the maximum number of employees you claim for under any claim for the period ending at the end of this month. So if you've made 3 claims so far, say 1 for 20, 1 for 30 and 1 for 50 employees, most you could claim for in any claim period going forward from the 1st of July will be 50 employees. And you need to agree in writing with the employee the pattern that they're going to work.
So clearly government now really trying to drive down the number of folk that are furloughed and get as many people back to work as quickly as possible. Any top tips for businesses starting to bring staff back from furlough?
I think the important thing, I would say, is to keep in touch with your employees. So when you need them back, they still feel part of the business. I think that many employees who at first felt that furlough was going to be awful have found that the reduction in pay has been compensated by the fact that they aren't going to they're not paying to commute, they're not buying coffees or McDonald's for lunch, or they're not going out for dinner. So some will have got jobs in their new local supermarket or whatever while they've been furloughed. So you're going to want them back. I would aim to give them time to reorganise their lives, make them still feel part of your business. You can keep in touch with people provided they're not working for you. And so, having socials with them and just ringing them up to say, are you okay, is a good idea. And then give them a reasonable amount of notice if you are going to get them back. And don't forget, you're going to have to agree with them in writing what hours they're going to work, and perhaps bring some back sometimes and some back another week, so that everybody starts getting back into it and shares the both pleasure and pain that furlough scheme brings.